This is World Report. Good morning. I'm Angie Seth. Palestinians in Gaza are heading back to what's left of their homes. The ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is now in effect. We want to go home, says this man in central Gaza. We are peaceful civilians. We're not involved in any of this, he says. Israel's military has withdrawn from parts of Gaza. Hamas is expected to free all of its hostages within 72 hours. And once that happens, Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The rapid developments follow Thursday's agreement on the first phase of Donald Trump's peace plan. The CBC's Willie Lowry is in Washington following all the developments for us. So, Willie, the U.S. has not only had a major role in achieving the ceasefire, but it's also going to be monitoring things as well. So talk to us more about that.
That's right. The U.S. is sending 200 troops to Israel to support and monitor the ceasefire. U.S. officials told reporters in a call late last night that U.S. Central Command will establish a military-civilian coordination center inside Israel to help ensure that the ceasefire holds. U.S. troops, some of whom have already started arriving in the region, are not expected to enter Gaza. They'll be working alongside soldiers from Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. The U.S. played an instrumental role in brokering this deal and is expected to continue to play a leading role as they push for this deal to move forward. In order for the hostages to be released and aid to flow back into the Gaza Strip, the ceasefire must hold.
And what about the president, Donald Trump? He's saying that he'll be heading to the Middle East possibly as early as today. So what is he planning there?
Well, President Trump has been adamant that he wants to travel to the region, and the White House has confirmed that he intends to do so. But the timeline is still unclear. He has said he hopes to travel to Egypt, where an official signing ceremony is expected to take place. And according to Israeli media reports, he's expected to arrive in Israel on Monday morning. He will address the Knesset, Israel's parliament, and then likely head home. The 20 living Israeli hostages, as well as the remains of around 28 who died in captivity, are expected to be returned to Israel on Monday or Tuesday. And that's a moment that President Trump has expressed an interest in being there for. But logistics may make that difficult.
All right, we'll be watching those developments. CBC's Willie Lowry for us in Washington. Willie, thank you for this.
My pleasure.
The winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize is Maria Corina Machado. She is a key opposition figure in Venezuelan politics, and the Nobel Committee calls her an extraordinary example of civilian courage.
She is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy.
Machado is known as Venezuela's Iron Lady. She tried to run against Nicolas Maduro in the 2024 presidential election, but she was disqualified from holding office, a move seen as politically motivated. After Maduro's re-election, Machado went into hiding. Her location remains undisclosed to this day. Taiwan's president is promising peace through strength. The announcement from Lai Chih-te comes as Taiwan celebrates its National Day and against the backdrop of growing military threats from China's government. Beijing claims the strategic island as its own. CBC correspondent Chris Brown has more from Taipei.
Celebrating its National Day, Taiwan's government put on a spectacle of dancers and military bands, with President Lai Ching-te using his speech to celebrate the island's democracy and political freedoms, in contrast to the People's Republic of China, its enormous neighbor and adversary across the strait. Notably, he spelled out details of a major new defense initiative, what he called the T-Dome, or Taiwan Dome, a multi-layered missile shield to intercept drones, rockets, and missiles that he said would be paid for out of a special boost to the defense budget. China's belligerence against Taiwan has dramatically increased of late, with more overflights and indications its naval ships might be staging dry runs for a potential invasion. But Ronan Fu, a Taipei political scientist, says many Taiwanese remain skeptical war is coming.
People start to get the sense that, okay, so you always tell me that it's coming, but it has been so many years, passing by, and nothing actually happened.
Taiwan's strategic importance to both the United States and China has soared as its microchip-making industry has become number one in the world. China's response to the missile dome announcement is that Taiwan seeking independence will only increase the risk of war. Chris Brown, CBC News, Taipei.
To news here at home, Canada's economy is rebounding from August's job losses. Statistics Canada has just released its numbers for September. They show a gain of 60,000 jobs, making up for most of the 66,000 shed in the previous month. But that's having little effect on the unemployment rate, which remains unchanged at 7.1%. CBC's senior business correspondent Peter Armstrong breaks down the numbers.
The Canadian labour market got rolling again in September. The headline is good. The details are even better. We added 60,000 jobs, but StatCan says the breakdown was actually 106,000 full-time jobs added, while 46,000 part-time jobs were lost. And you look at the sectors that are showing signs of life. Agriculture is up 13,000. Healthcare and social assistance, that's up 14,000. But the surprising one here is manufacturing. From January to August, nearly 60,000 manufacturing jobs were lost. In September, a whopping 28,000 jobs were added. This report just sort of adds to the sense that just maybe the worst of the trade war's impact is behind us. The Bank of Canada expects to see economic growth pick up through the second half of this year. And if that's the case, you'd expect to see that show up in the jobs data first. And here we are. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
Meantime, Prime Minister Mark Carney says his government is taking steps to make life more affordable for Canadians. He says next month's budget will include 3 new measures, including automatic federal benefits for low-income Canadians.
Millions of lower-income Canadians don't file their taxes, either because they don't have the resources to do so or because they think that their income is too low for it to matter. And that means, too often, that the people who most need benefits often don't get them.
Canada Revenue Agency will introduce an automated and free process, so eligible Canadians will just need to confirm details on a pre-filled out tax return to receive all benefits they're entitled to. Carney says the Liberals are also making the National School Food Program permanent, and they're renewing the Canada Strong Pass for summer 2026. The pass gives Canadians free entry to national parks and historic sites, as well as discounted tickets to national galleries and museums. And we're about to enter one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. Many Canadians traveling for Thanksgiving certainly aren't taking any chances, especially after recent glitches at the Canada Border Services Agency brought airports and borders to a crawl. Colin Butler now with more on what travelers are doing to beat the crowds.
So took a day off work to be there earlier. We're going to stop in Michigan and then drive to Chicago after.
Ricky Cheng has a plan. Suitcase packed, running shoes ready. He left Thursday, Chicago bound. He's not chasing turkey. He's chasing the finish line at the Chicago Marathon, and he's beating the rush, or so he hopes. Last week, 48 hours of computer glitches at the Canada Border Services Agency jammed terminals at airports and border crossings that left travelers inching through lines and truckers parked for hours. This weekend, the CBSA says the systems are solid.
We don't anticipate any outages this weekend. The CBSA is ready. We do have contingency plans in place.
Superintendent Adam James says if we all do our part, ID ready, receipts handy, know the rules before you go, there will be fewer snags.
Exactly. That will expedite it. Plus, it'll make life easier for all.
So Ricky Cheng's early jump might just pay off. Chicago by Thursday night, Marathon on Sunday, and when he drives back home on Monday...
I don't know what to expect, to be honest. Hopefully not too long.
A smooth border crossing after a long race. Now, that's something to be thankful for. Colin Butler, CBC News, London, Ontario.
And that's the national and international news from World Report. If you're enjoying the World Report podcast, please follow us and tell a friend. It helps spread the word. And for news anytime, go to cbcnews.ca. I'm Angie Seth. This is CBC News.